Let's be curious. I wonder who here considers themselves creative? You? You? Oh, you. A creative genius, in fact. The mantra of the art school that I founded stated, I was born a creative genius. Don't stop the process. So what has this got to do with you and your work? And I wonder, how does curiosity play within the realm of creativity, your work and well-being? Well, the industries that I work within, especially amongst you adults, is that the word art or creativity is the equivalent of me saying, oh, you over there, give me 20 push-ups, and you bench me 400. Yes, that's the look, the deer in the headlights. So here I am today talking to you about embracing your inner creative genius. And the science is proving this. NASA revealed a study that 98% of children at the age of 5 were all found to be creative geniuses. These same children were then assessed as adults and only 2% remained creative geniuses. I wonder what could possibly happen between the age of 5 and adulthood that could interfere with such a process. Well, it doesn't take a creative genius to figure that one out. So here I am talking to you about embracing your creative genius and what gives me the right to do so. Well, I'm an art psychotherapist who specialises in creative well-being and emotional trauma. I've studied psychology for many years and have a special interest in neuroscience. I'm also a practicing artist. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is an art therapist? And to be honest with you, the title is a little bit misleading. It's not about creating beautiful imagery, but more about the art materials and how they inform us of what's going on inside of us and around us. So how can an art therapist help you and your work? Well, first of all, let's look at how much we're losing in terms of work-related stress. A study last year revealed that the UK alone lost £102 billion in work-related stress. Now, let that just sink in a minute. Only 18% of the working population consider themselves to be flourishing. Now, that's about 1 in 5 of you. Have a look around. Think about it. Now, that's a lot of money and a lot of misery. So how could art or art therapy be an antidote to this crisis that we're experiencing? Well, the World Health Organization revealed over 3,000 studies demonstrating the powerful effects that art making alone has on an individual's overall well-being. So what is it about art that's so good for us? The psychiatrist Yalom declared, mind thinks in image, but in order to communicate with another, must transform image into thought and thought into language. This march from image to thought and thought into language is treacherous. So much is lost when crammed into language. So if we experience our environments and our work through our senses, how much is stored in our body as stress and how much is lost in communication? Now, so many industries have been affected by work-related stress, especially since the pandemic. And some are more affected than others. And these tend to be those that are human-facing, working with people, such as education, healthcare professionals, those working in the criminal justice system, human resources, managers, and journalists, for example. But everybody's been affected by work-related stress. Things like comparing ourselves to other people and the working environment. And don't even get me started on ethics. So what are the symptoms of work-related stress? Well, you might start to have your sleep disturbed. You might lose confidence and interest in your work, and your relationships might begin to suffer. But work-related stress doesn't just stop there. It can turn into something called compassion fatigue, and in worst-case scenarios, vicarious trauma, also known as secondary shock. And this is where you experience other people's trauma symptoms as if they're your own, just purely by being exposed to them on a repeated basis. And if this starts to happen, you might experience panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, self-harm, increased substance misuse, suicide ideation, and suicide itself. So, my journey as an art therapist and my interest in neuroscience has been that these conditions like to communicate through imagery and symbolism. So here we go, here's an egg. An art therapist does love a metaphor, so bear with me and make sure I don't drop it on the carpet. An egg is both strong and fragile, much like our human brain. When it is completely vertical and balanced, it can take the weight of a human of 130 pounds. Now, a well-balanced brain would have fantastic genetic lineage, wonderful emotional attachments, environments that are brilliant for us to work in, live in, play in, and communities that are supportive and where we have access to fantastic healthcare, nutrition, and exercise. However, if this egg becomes slightly unbalanced, it'll crack. And in worst-case situations, it will smash, much like our human brain. And this is what's happening in relation to work-related stress, splattering and hitting anything within its vicinity. Now, I wonder if you've met the artist Jackson Pollock. Now, some of you might think, what the heck happened here? And others will be like, wonderful pattern formation, composition and colour palette. However, we only need to scratch beneath the surface to understand that Jackson Pollock's life was splattered with domestic violence, abuse, grief, and abuse. Did I say abuse? Probably. You get the drift. I'm curious. I wonder if his art was a manifestation of his internal chaos. I can't know for sure, but it's something to think about. Now, I wonder if we were to give work-related stress an opportunity to paint a picture. Shall we give it a go? Yeah. Okay. Here's one I prepared earlier. I think they're a bit worried. Do you think? Because all this preparation, they've even said, can you cover up Ted? I'm going to cover up Ted. There you go. People get anxious about paint splatter. You're not anxious, are you? No. You're all right. That's all right. All right. Right, then, here we go. And you're thinking the dress, aren't you? You're like, the dress, the paint, are we going to do this? Right, then. So we're going to go into a little torture chamber of work-related stress here, right? So, first of all, we're going to start with, comparison. Oh, yeah, their computer's much bigger than yours. I'm just saying, not judging. So we're just going to put a little bit of that on there. You're right there. Ooh. And then what's coming next? Working environment. To work at home, to not work at home. Oh, and don't even get me started on desk hopping and poor lighting. So we're just going to put that on there. Poor guy. You didn't get covered up, did you? Right, then the next one. Unnecessary administration. That just stops us from doing what we're called to do. Let's get you on there. Right then. I'm just going to turn the dial up a little bit on this torture chamber and discuss micromanaging. Yes. So I wish they'd just trust me to do the job I'm trained to do, and I'm more experienced than you anyway. Let's put that on there. Right. Lack of training. Those wonderful online modules that get you to tick boxes to say you understand what you're doing. Where's the coaching? Where's the mentoring? Where's the people? Come on, let's get that on there. Apologies if anybody writes those modules. No offence. Right then, I think that's right. I'm going to turn it right up now to discrimination. And then bullying. I think you get the picture. And I think it's time we say enough. So how can art therapy be the antidote to the experience and the mess of this work-related stress? Well, emerging research on art therapy and staff wellbeing has found that clinicians who received art therapy found not only did their relationships improve with their patients and colleagues, but also back at home. In fact, 97.7% of them did. And I know from my own experience of work-related stress, and I've had secondary shock, and I kid you not, that's a real sucker punch. If it wasn't for art, therapy, supervision, and wonderful family support, I don't think I'd be here talking to you today. So for every pound an organisation spends on staff wellbeing, they will on average receive £4.70 back in productivity. When staff believe that an organisation values their mental health, their ability to flourish doubles. It's better than 18%, right? Okay, well, my experience of working in staff wellbeing is that people are very tired. In fact, they're not tired, they're exhausted. They're tired of the one-off incentives, have a cake on us day, and the sentimental anecdotes of be resilient. Well, I kid you not. If you are thrown under the bus and get crushed, that's not lack of resilience. It's physics, it's biology. If we don't give work-related stress a voice, it will speak, and oh my gosh, it will be loud if it isn't already. Our skin will become the canvas it carves upon. Our relationships will become the conduit for its voice, and our health will speak on its behalf in its deterioration. Now, curiosity might say, we can't all speak at once, but we can when we draw. And when we draw, we can say so much more. Thank you.